And now I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of distance education. There are several advantages for why one would choose distance education. First, no longer is location an issue when it comes to learning online. Students can find a program that works best for them and not have to look just at the physicality of where the classes are located. For institutions, while there is more competition, there are also more students who are looking for additional education and training. Another advantage is the flexibility that is offered by distance education. Students can still maintain full or part-time jobs while attending class. A lot of the time, there is no set class time when a student must be at a computer. Instead, students are given a time frame in which they must complete a lesson and can choose to complete the coursework over that time period. For institutions, there is no actual class time where rooms must be reserved and professors and students can monitor and participate in the class at their own pace and time. Another big advantage for online education is the accessibility. With the internet so prevalent in today's world, many people have more access to education. Students can access the coursework from home, work, libraries, or anywhere where there is internet access. Additionally, professors and institutions can now reach new areas and audiences that, prior to the internet, might have even been limited. Being physically present on campus is no longer required, which means the boundaries of an institution are endless. Another big advantage of online education is that students can self-pace. There is no actual class time when everyone must be present, which means that students are able to learn a lesson at their own pace. Moreover, there is no time frame in which a student must complete a degree. Students can take as few as one course per term and can self-pace the degree as well. For institutions, this means that people are gaining more knowledge on their own time, and the risk of dropping out is less likely. Possibly one of the biggest advantages for distance education is the cost and price of the program. Distance education tends to cost less than actually attending on-campus courses. With less physical space requirements, less required materials, and fewer restrictions when it comes to class size, students are able to afford online courses more readily. For institutions, cost is also a big advantage. Since more students can access classes and there are no physical restraints, institutions are able to offer more classes to more students. There are no building or classrooms to manage and maintain, and no additional staff or personnel members are needed for online courses. While there are many advantages for distance education, there are definitely disadvantages that all students and institutions must consider. One disadvantage that is felt by students and institutions alike is dealing with difficult technology and the accessibility to reliable technology. For students, they need to be able to have reliable access to technology and have the technology work in ways that are required for their course. Depending on location and the affordability of technology, completing coursework then can become difficult. For institutions, they must stay up to date with all technology developments and continue to fund it. Additionally, not all courses and degrees are available in an online format. There are some types of degrees and courses that have a physical requirement, such as the sciences, which can make offering some of these courses and degrees difficult on an online format. Another disadvantage for distance education is the lack of support that students and faculty members both can receive. For students, receiving support from friends and family members is extremely important, and if support is not offered, completing a course becomes even more difficult. For institutions, there can be a lack of support by faculty members. Teaching styles may have to change in order to administer these courses properly, and this can mean that teaching styles would have to adapt to the online manner. And if an institution does not supply proper training with technology as well, then students and institutions alike can suffer. The next disadvantage can be class format. With online courses, a good amount of self-discipline is required of students. Since there is no physical class time in which students must complete a lesson, students are expected to monitor themselves in order to get work completed. There is a lack of immediate feedback from professors as well, which means that students might have to continue on learning lessons prior to receiving answers or feedback on problems they might have. And if students have a lack of knowledge in technology, the frustrations can become even stronger and the risk of dropping out increases. For institutions, this format requires a lot more reliance on technology and understanding of technology, which means that more training is required for faculty. And if faculty are not willing to support the online programs and the various students using the online programs, then many students and institutions suffer alike. The last disadvantage that is mentioned is the unseen cost and lack of funding for online programs. For students, there can be unseen costs such as required technology upgrades or, depending on location, paying extra for better access to the internet. Additionally, not all employers accept degrees or training for online programs, which means that students might have paid for experience that they cannot use at work. For institutions, technology costs are increasing, and since distance education relies almost completely on technology, these costs continue to mount. Additionally, institutions must have adequate funding for staff to maintain the technology for online programs. And now I'm going to talk about the future of distance education. The future of distance education continues to look bright. In 2015, the e-learning market was worth an estimated $166.5 billion. And while enrollment in higher education might be down, enrollment in higher online education continues to grow. In fact, nearly 2/3 of all colleges reported growth in their online education programs from 2012 to 2015. However, that growth is expected to slow down some, as much of that growth has begun because of new institutions entering the online arena. The online education market is expected to peak with approximately 4 million students enrolled either full or majority time in distance education in 2019 and 2020, as the number of high school graduates also declines. Moreover, accessibility to online courses is something that many institutions are looking at, and more specifically, making it mobile friendly. It has been estimated that around 87% of prospective online students use their mobile phones to search for potential programs online, and 67% have completed online coursework through their smartphones since being enrolled. Another big focus for the future of distance education is the focus on career support for online students. According to Learning House, 3/4 of online university students claimed they have undertaken their degrees for career-focused reasons. This means that institutions need to develop their career support for online students and make it equal to the career support that is offered for the on-campus students. Lastly, while business and education have been extremely popular in online degrees, students are looking for more variety in what they are able to take. For example, graduate programs are finding students are increasingly interested in IT and computers, health and medicine, and a number of STEM subjects for their online courses. Thus, it will not be surprising to find institutions looking into creative ways to offer more programs than the subjects just mentioned. Overall, it does not appear that online education will be going anywhere anytime soon.